Undertale is a beautiful game. It inflicts so many emotions in you through the gameplay, story, and music. This game has become and will always be my favorite game of all time, just because of the quirkiness of the characters and the world that Toby Fox was able to create. Sure, this game has its questionable side, the side that Toby never intended to create, I hope. But this game alone, without any of that, is a gripping story with emotion and real consequences. I'm Hanabi, and this is how Undertale broke me. This game has a wide variety of characters, from the Bone Boys to the Funny Fish Women. Every character has a story. The way you interact with them will affect others. For example, if you choose to kill Papyrus, then you go to meet Undyne, he doesn't show up to a meeting, which alarms Undyne that something isn't right. This is used all throughout Undertale, as a means of making the player feel bad for what they've done or to feel rewarded for not killing the monsters they were about to kill. The way the characters interact with the world and how they affect others really makes them feel alive, and it makes it much more harder to kill them. Now, I'm gonna keep this section short. The gameplay of this game is honestly amazing. If you choose to spare every major enemy in Snowden, they'll actually appear in the Grilby's Tavern. This is contrasted to if you kill all of them, then they won't appear. This is excellent world building, and it feeds into the fact that what you do actually affects the world and its characters. There's so much missable stuff in this game that it could make up its own video. The way you play this game affects the world, and I think that Toby did a really good job in that part. This game is known for many things, and its music is probably the most known thing about it. Even people who don't know this game know the music because it's just so memeable and influential. My two personal favorites are the songs Megalovania, obviously, and Spider Dance because they're just so catchy and good. The music can give you so much feelings, like when you return to Toriel's house near the end of the game, and the song Undertale starts playing. This made me tear up the first time I played it because when I had done my playthrough, I killed Toriel, not knowing what to do. By the way, I never cry at games or movies or TV shows or whatever, but somehow this made me cry. Just because I killed my goat mom. Another use of music is when you are fighting Undyne and a theme song Spirit of Justice starts playing. This song is just so good because it's just got a good orchestration and it's really hard to put into words, so I'll just play it here for you. Now, I've talked briefly about the emotions that this game made me feel, so I'm just going to dedicate an entire section about it here. Going back to when I saw Toriel's house again, I went over to the mirror expecting nothing to be changed. But then, I pressed the button. I did not expect this. Despite everything, it's still you. Now, I know that most people, for this it doesn't really affect them, but for me, after killing about 30 monsters including Toriel and Papyrus, it hit me hard. I literally sobbed at this because it told me that my journey would affect me more than I expected. I continued to go through this area until I encountered an enemy. I was ready to fight them, but there wasn't any fight button. There wasn't any HUD. All of a sudden, the monster started telling me about a story of a human and a monster who became friends. As I encountered more enemies, while making my way through what I thought were the ruins, I started to hear the whole story about this human-monster friendship, and how the human mysteriously died from an illness. The monster then brings the human's body to the surface, bringing it to the humans, but the humans mistake that the monster killed it and attack it. The monster smiles and goes back home and drops dead. This story is the story of Asriel, the king and queen's only son. The story is important because it tells the player why the monsters don't like humans. On my way to Asgore's room, I went through a room called the Judgment Hall. Sans was there. He told me that I shouldn't have killed his brother and that Asgore would kill me. He said that I should just leave and never come back. He then disappeared. All I was left with was silence and regret for my actions. I entered the next room and then I entered Asgore's room and met him. He clearly didn't want to fight me, so I was ready to spare him until I saw him pull out his trident and destroy the mercy button. It was at this moment that I knew I had to kill him. After many deaths and almost killing him, I did it. He was almost dead and I had a choice. I either kill him or spare him. I chose to spare him. At first I was ready to end the game there. Then pellets came from behind Asgore and struck him. Flowey had killed him. With anger in my eyes I was ready to kill Flowey and as he transformed into Mega Flowey. And I got ready for my greatest fight yet. After an hour of deaths and triumphs, I had him at the same choice I had with Asgore. Without thinking, because anger had overrun me, I struck Flowey down. All that he could say was, I knew you had it in you, and turned to dust. This game made me feel so much emotion and regret for what I did. This game is a masterpiece that is seriously overlooked because of the community that ruined it, and I absolutely hate that. What happened to the community and why it happened is just appalling, and I absolutely hate it. This game is my favorite game ever, and I don't ever want that to go to waste. Alright, I've been your host, and this is Hanabi, signing off. Thank you so much for watching.